Hi, can you hear me?
Testy.
That's Stickles.
Testicle 1, 2.
We're just here to talk about like shits and gigs.
Yeah.
We're going to swear a lot. We'll probably be drinking a lot. Wine thing is so played up. There's only so many
Buzzed
things.
besties.
Ooh, you are buzzed. Buzzed besties.
Buzzed besties. Like, who are these hood rats?
We are cool and you want to be our best friends, okay?
Welcome to the Sips and Gigs podcast. Here's your hosts, Nikki Intonman and Steph Joplin.
Yellow, and welcome back. You guys are going to need to grab your notebooks on this one. I've got mine set aside. I have no notes as to what I'm going to be talking about. I'm ready to write all the notes.
That is because we have a very, very special guest. We have Angel Renee, who is the founder and CEO of Angel Aesthetics. She is right here in Denver, Colorado. She's a mom of 3 grown kids, which actually blows my mind because you look like you're 25 years old. Her skin is flawless. You're also
the hair too. Look at this. Like she's got this. I mean, come on.
She's such a babe. I have been to her place multiple times. She also has her own podcast. It's what It Hurts to Be Pretty podcast.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. And the creator of the Mile High Makeover, which I do want to talk about because I feel like that's your signature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So welcome, Angel.
Woo.
Thanks for having me, guys. I love it. I love to hang out with moms. It's too bad it's too early to drink, but you never know what's in here.
Yeah, that's true. You having
Mine's water, okay? Boring old pregnant Steph over here.
Right before you got on, Angel and I were like, we're both so hungover, and we both have our waters just like.
It was bad.
The one plus side, I guess, when you are pregnant is like you see people after like a binger weekend and you're like, that feeling I do not miss.
Oh, it hurts so bad. I was telling her, I'm like, I was sitting at the bar by myself, which I do at Toro, and I journal. I know this sounds crazy, but I like to journal at the bar. And I actually left my journal at Toro one time, and I don't have my name in it, but they knew it was mine. So because I guess
do it so often, they're like, oh, this is that lady that likes to get hammered right in her journal.
Back her journal. And so I saw some people that I'd known, and then one drink led to 2, led to 4, and yeah, ouch.
And then, but you got your journal back, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. They're like, we didn't read it. I'm like, lying assholes.
Yeah, right.
You're lying to me. But
they're looking at your dating.
Wait, hold on. I have a question. Like, what kind of stuff are you journaling about there? Is this like a full-on diary journal, or is this like work stuff that you're trying to get out of your brain, or just a brain dump over a glass of wine?
No. Usually it's like, dear God, today was really fucking hard. and then the next page would be like, that guy had a really small penis, and I never ever thought God made him that small before.
Wait, you know what was so funny, Angel, is I was listening to your episode about dating. How's the dating life going?
It's difficult at my age. I think a lot of men that are younger tend to like the cougars. And, it's flattering. It was flattering for me like 5-6 years ago, but it's not. It's like, I don't want to pay your bills. I don't want to take care of you. Like I'm still taking care of my grown ass children. I don't want to have to fucking pay the tab, but some women want that because they want the attention and they think it's cool.
You feel needed. Yeah. Wait, how old are you?
44.
Okay. Oh my, are you fucking kidding me?
I know. That's
I thought you were like, even we're old, and I'm like, I thought you were like, okay, she's probably 37, 30. I bet she's 35 and she thinks she's old. Holy shit, you look so fucking
You're like,
good.
holy shit, you really are old.
I mean, yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm going to be 45. So when I go on dates with older men,
I cannot. I'm
bored out of my mind. Like they'll sit there and they're like talking about the weather, and I'm like, fucking A. Like it's really hard for me.
They're telling you about like their Social Security and their Medicare. They're like, hey, come here, I got you.
I'm like,
some ones are a bunch of douchebags, right?
Yeah, I don't do.
That'd be tough. That's tough.
Yeah, it's been hard. So I either don't do it at all, or I'll do it and then I won't do it again for like 3 months. I don't know.
Do we have any eligible bachelors out there? Anybody have
anybody want to date a 44-year-old who looks like she's literally 21? Like, That's probably why you get a bunch of douchebags, is because they're all like 20 something. And then you're like, hi, I'm a grown ass woman. I have my life put together. And they're
like, oh, that's
oh,
so
shit.
dope. Like, let me, like, I love a strong woman. I'm like, here we fucking go again. So I can't win. Sometimes I just let them talk and let them feel whatever.
Because you're like still side journaling. You're like, mm-hmm. No, I'm totally paying attention. No.
Okay.
True, but you also, I mean, you're a gangster. You own your own business, super successful. How long has Angel's Aesthetics been around?
This is my 8th year. And I've been doing skincare in Cherry Creek for 17 years. But I branched out on my own, raising my kids on my own. Yeah. I've been a single mom since 31. So
and how old are all your kids?
25, 23, and 22.
Damn, like old, like grown ass kids.
I know.
Look at her.
And 2 men and a little lady. Yep.
So
that's incredible. No, if you guys are local to Denver, I'm telling you, Angels is amazing. The vibe, the service that you get there. I just got your newsletter this morning, and I want to let you know, I just booked my, what's it called? My ass makeover. What was it?
The ass facial.
What you have the what? That's a real thing. Hold on, I need to hear about this. Like facial. Scrub my butt. Like, oh my god!
I honestly might get one just so my butt could be touched. So they do all the extractions because like butt acne is a thing, especially in the summer. Yeah, you have little marks that maybe you're concerned about. So yeah, we came up with booty facial probably a few years ago, and it's always popular in the summer.
Oh, that's so cool. I bet that's got to be popular for sure, too.
It is just because, it's embarrassing to have like razor bumps or whatever. So we got the ass facial.
All my cellulite in one treatment by chance.
That I can help you with. Or else I have to get rid of mine.
Yeah, sun's out, buns out. The booty facial.
Booty facial. I love it. I feel like, yeah.
Wait, so how did you get into skincare initially?
So my aunt is a nurse for a dermatologist. And when I was younger, the bus used to drop us off at her office. And I would sit in the back and look at like skin cancers. And like, I was just so intrigued with skin. I didn't know necessarily I always wanted to be an esthetician because you never know what you're going to be good at, right? Like I was just intrigued by it. And the curiosity alone, I thought like maybe I'm going to be really great at this. Not knowing I actually am really great at this, but I just have a passion for it. And so I didn't know at the time I was going to be getting divorced at all. Like obviously you get married wanting forever. And so when I was 31, 32, we got divorced, and then my skincare journey just took off. And I've been hustling my name since back in the day, honestly. I mean, from every party but I never tried to be someone I'm not. I knew I was a single mom. And then when you're around bougie people in Cherry Creek, I always stayed true to who I was. And so I think that alone built friendships with women that are still my mentors to this day. And so, yeah, I just loved it. And then I was like, oh shit, I'm really good at this, and then you just try your best to get better and better. And yeah.
I will say that is one thing. I mean, Steph and I talk about it a lot on here, and I feel like podcasting is a really great place to just showcase who you are. But I've been watching you, I've been to Angels for 5 years now, probably. And you have always stayed authentic to who you are, and also like not giving a fuck who is there and who isn't. Like, you're like, love me or not, I don't care. This is who I am. And I feel like as a lot of people get more successful, or, they start to gain some traction with followers, they tend to change. Sure. Staying true to who you are, I also feel like is what has made you so successful.
Yeah, thank you. I feel like I still work, like there's only $200 in my bank account, like I'm very grateful how far I've come, and I don't take it lightly. So I'm still with my head down, working hard. And I think that putting dating involved in that, men say they want a strong woman, but when they actually get one, and then they find out, oh shit, she really works 6 days a week. Like, she's not kidding. I think that's hard, but I never want to be someone I'm not. And I think the older you get, the more you don't give a fuck anyway. And so when I'm on my social media, always been very transparent about who I was. And I started that from the beginning. And like people, when they come in here and they trust me with their face and their skin, there's already that certain level of trust because I've been so vulnerable. And you guys know this. I watch your stuff as well. You're who you are, so they feel like they know you.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's, for me, it's an honor because I'm like, well, you're trusting me with your skin. Right. I know that you know my dog's name, my kids' names, my boys are very private. My older sons, they don't do social media, and I have to ask permission anytime I post them. So
that's
you'll
amazing
see
at 20 years old when everyone's like living for a TikTok dance and they're like, bye.
I feel like kids these days, like that generation too, they're very like, they're either on way too much or they're like, nope, don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, they don't. They're such old souls. They're little grandpa.
Cool. So cool.
That is one
the world we live in.
That was like one piece of advice I did. I don't remember where I heard it from, but they're like, people get to know you, then they trust you, then they buy from you. They don't buy from you and then hope to trust you. So like getting to know people is like such a big key, especially when you have a business like yours, where you have customers coming in. Like Steph and I are just on social media all day long, but like you get of being in front of people, plus running an online business space too. So like that creates a whole another beast for you, I'm sure.
Yeah. And going back to your point, I've always stayed true to like the things that they need for summer for their skin. I don't just sell shit. Like if you come in my office, I could have way more products, way more variety, or even machines that I own. I only buy what I feel works for the skin. I only buy things that I know that people are going to see some sort of results. And I don't collab with people if I don't agree with it, if I don't love it. I don't care if you're going to pay me. Like, to me, this is who I am. And so I'm always going to, I think that's why there's that trust. I don't try to sell you a whole bunch of shit. And then I'm like, okay, like, let's only hope for the best. I'm like, you only need like two things. Or there's times I'm like, if you love what you're using, keep using it. Don't buy anything here.
Yeah.
Right.
So again, that goes back to being authentic and just saying like, there's that fine line of being salesy, right? Like I never want to feel salesy because I feel like if it's great, it's going to sell itself, kind of like the Mouth makeover.
I don't know. I'm also in the factor where I just look at her face and I'm like, you also could sell me on anything. So I could be like, you're usually, I don't even know you if I don't trust you, but if that you look like that, sure, whatever. Put it in my cart.
Okay. Speaking of, let's get into a little bit of skincare.
Yeah. What? Oh my gosh. I love skincare so much. I was so excited for this episode because over the past 2 years, maybe, I feel like before I was trying to hide all of any imperfection that I had with makeup. So I was like, the more that you put on, the more you will look like, you could look snatched by bronzing enough. And then I was like, let's dial back. Like wrinkles and everything sets in. And I'm like, oh my God, all that makeup that I'm putting on my face is like setting in these fine, like literally it's just getting worse and worse the more makeup that I put on. So I took huge giant steps backwards and I was like, let's go back to the skin. Let me load up on skincare. I'm going to stop buying makeup and I'm going to start buying more skincare, trying things out from drugstore all the way up to high end stuff. I was like, I don't know what I need, but I'm going to try it all out. So it's the last 2 years for me, I'm just like, give me all the skincare.
I am too.
Yeah.
I love skincare so much, but I also feel like I'm about to get fucking roasted because I'm going to be like, this is what I'm using. And Angel's like, nope, absolutely not. So what are you seeing as far as like the top, maybe couple mistakes that you see women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s doing when it comes to their skincare?
Well, those are so separate decades because they all each individually make different mistakes. I feel like the 30-year-olds at 30, you start to notice the wrinkles, the sun damage. And I always say skin has a great memory. So it's not even necessarily because they're like, I wear all the sunscreen, I'm doing everything right. But in their early 20s, they were baking and they were having the best time and they forgot to reapply. Well, skin, I always
I didn't even know what sunscreen was in my 20s.
Yeah.
I was like, no,
and
oil.
I say skin is like a bitter ex-girlfriend. She never forgets, right? Like, so she's always going to bring up in your past what has surfaced. So about 30 to 35 is really when the skin drastically starts to change. And you guys probably can testify to this. So like wrinkles set in, everything starts to go downwards. And then they're like, oh shit. So now I feel like the 30-year-olds are buying everything that they see on TikTok. So that's the biggest mistake. Either
you're just shaking your head. We're like, yes, you should see my counter. It's like, here's my 14-step nighttime routine. Here's my 27-step get up in the morning routine.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gullible for other things like clothes and stuff that I see on social media. So I can imagine with skincare, because you see this girl who's like 30 and she's, you know, whatever. And she's like, oh my God, I've been using this eye cream, blah, blah, blah. And boom, it's a sale. So I think the biggest mistake for 30-year-olds is saying, how can I get my skin healthy and not fall for every single ad that is coming at my way? Because what works for Mary Jo may not work for you. And so then they buy it, they spend $200 on a cream, and then they're discouraged because they're thinking the cream is going to give them what Botox is going to give them.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Botox is life. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is. And so I also think with 40-year-olds, which is my demographics, this is the age where 40 and 50-year-olds start to get set in their ways. So I have two different consults. When they come in, they're either like, I don't fucking care. My kids are getting on my last nerves and I barely have time to piss, shower, eat, and I don't want 10 things.
Make it as simple as possible, but also make me look like 10 years younger or keeping me looking fresh. Yeah.
I always tell people my name is not Jesus, it's Angel, because I cannot create those kind of miracles, but I will try to get your skin at the healthiest. So I think also just keeping in mind that when you're 40, especially, you know, I had kids young, but people have kids later on in life, and that also takes a toll on your body. And so lack of sleep and that sort of thing, and you start to not feel good about yourself. And so I feel like a lot of 40-year-olds either give up or they're on the total end of the spectrum where they've done everything and anything and they're overfilled. Their lips are this big. They look insane. Even a lot of people who own med spas, I can spot them out a mile away. I'm like, that's gross.
That's gross.
For sure.
It's gross. Yeah. It gives us a bad reputation for people who actually love skincare and want people to look healthy and not, you know, overfilled and like a pulled cat.
Right. Yeah.
So, and then 50-year-olds, they either, two different kinds again, they either come in and they're like, I haven't done shit. I'm 57 and I don't like, what can you do? And I actually love my 50-year-olds and older because their expectation at that age is like, look, just make me look healthy. You know, they're not trying to be younger. They just want their skin back to get healthy again. And so I think that would be my goal for anyone listening is when comparing yourself in social media and all the filters and everything that's going on, it's like, how can I look my best at my age? And how can I slow down the process, whatever age you're at, it's never too late. How am I going to slow down this train just a bit? So that way, when I'm 35, I feel great at 35, you know?
Yeah. No, I love it.
And do you feel, because I feel like where the questions that I get a lot, and I know Steph and I have talked about it, it's like, I want to feel great. I want my skin to be healthy. I am trying to work on it. I don't even know what that looks like. Like what products are an absolute must? I know it's going to probably be different from age, but if there were like 3 things that you think every woman should have, what are those?
You know, it's actually not different for every age. This is one thing that if I can name 3 things that you need, that's for every age group, whether 20 or 60. And I use analogies all the time. I don't know. I think I'm like a disciple, but I say like, it's like the Christmas tree and the holder for the Christmas tree. Those are 2 things, and everything else is like extra, like ornaments, right? Like everything else is just extra. Not that they're bad, because I use the extra as well. But if you have the 3 things, and I know people are like, oh my God, I've heard this a bazillion times, but it is for sure sunscreen. Okay. Anything.
I'm writing this down. I'm sorry. If you see me off to the side, I'm like, okay, sunscreen, got it. Check. Here we go.
It's anything above a 30. Know that sunscreen lasts on average about 50 to 90 minutes. So when people tell me, oh, I reapplied, or no, I put it on, I'm like, did you reapply? Well, I kind of did, like 6 hours later. Well, during that time is where you got your sunburn. again, sun gives us you want to age fast, go out in the sun and be another color that you weren't meant to be. So, so sunscreen, the first thing is vitamin C. There are so many different vitamin C's. I can't even tell you, like, it's insane. But if you find one that's more of a serum, also Alpharet from Skin Better is another good one, but I love Is Clinical, Pro Heal, and Super Serum. They're kind of my go-to for summer because it's thinner, it's not heavy. It's a 15% vitamin C in both of those bottles. So Pro Heal is for people who are acne prone and have a lot of redness in their face. And then the Super Serum are for gals who are like 35 and older and just want like the anti-aging aspect of it. And what vitamin C does is I always tell people when you're sick, what's the first thing you do? You take vitamin C. So because we're hit with sun, pollution, stress, your vitamin C is actually nourishing your skin. Yes, it's a brightener. Yes, it's all those things, but it is actually FDA proven to penetrate down to the dermis. Not other ingredients not hyaluronic acid can't do that. Niacinamide can't do that. Only vitamin C. And my third one would be a retinol. If you're not using a retinol,
favorite,
you are doing it all wrong because retinol is the key ingredient out of all of them. It's like the king triton of the ocean. It is actually going to help cell turnover, especially if you can't get in and do a laser. It is like little molecules just working in underneath the dermis, turning over that cell. So that way your skin looks brighter, healthier. And as we get older, typically our skin turns over every 28 days or so. Well, we can speed up that process by doing dermaplanes, because dermaplanes remove all that vellus hair and dead skin. So that's why when men shave, if you notice men's skin looks really, really good at times, they shave a lot. That's basically a dermaplane. And so you're removing that barrier of dead skin that's taking forever just to come off. So dermaplane is another essential for summer. Sorry, I went off on a tangent on there, but so the three things would be sunscreen, vitamin C, and a retinol. If you can get in a medical med spa office and get a retinol, and I'm not talking prescription tretinoin because sometimes that's too harsh for the skin. I'm talking a good medical grade retinol. And the difference is the one at Walgreens is so watered down. If you pick up a box and you see a bazillion ingredients, by the time the retinol even gets to the skin with all the other ingredients, you're just kind of getting a watered down retinol. And a lot of times you walk in Walgreens, because I used to do this when I first started Angel Aesthetics, I'll go and I'll make fun of different products. It's a puffery claim when they say like, will look better in 7 days, or your eyes are brighter in 12 days. Yeah. Like those are puffery claims. And believe it or not, it's not against the law to exaggerate on a box to get you to buy that. So, or when it says dermatologist recommended, that is not our end all be all. So no one ever said just because the derm said it, it's true. A lot of times these businesses, whether L'Oreal or Revlon, will pick a derm and say, we'll give you X amount of money if you can stand behind our product. Cool. Same thing. Right. So a lot of people walk into Walgreens or whether it be Target, and there's just like ads. The more ads, the more verbiage to get you to buy it, the more you're like hopeful that this puffery cream will actually change your skin. So I say invest in these three things and then spend your money on the extra stuff at Walgreens or whatever that you want, because those ones are going to save your skin, especially turning 30. Those are going to save your skin. Those are going to slow down the process. And don't expect miracles after just 2 weeks of using these ingredients. It's going to take time. I'll always say in a consult, how old are you? Okay, you're 42. Well, you've had 42 years of sun. So you can't expect a bottle after 2 weeks or a treatment after one treatment to be the end all be all. It's not going to happen.
For sure. No, that's great. I mean, my skin has completely changed since I started using a lot of medical grade products. And we've talked about this before, not necessarily about skincare, but it's so hard to decipher and cut through the shit when it comes to, like you said, marketing, because they can get away whether it be processed food, whether it be booze, whether it be, whatever the case may be. It's so hard to cut. So it's like, we really appreciate you being upfront and honest when it comes to skincare. I did have a question about SPF. Do you recommend mineral versus chemical? Does it matter?
It does. Especially here in Colorado, we're closer to the sun. Mineral is blocking. So if you think of, the sun being right here with this light, it's literally blocking the sun to penetrate the skin, where a chemical one is not. The chemical one is nice because that's a lot of times in the makeup and it looks better and it's not so like that white dewy, like that white residue that it leaves.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you're going to be out in the sun, a boat, camping, whatever, you want to stick with the mineral. There's so many great choices now. A Skin Better has a great one that we love. They have a compact, so you're not reapplying goop to the face, which is nice. Elta MD is one of my go-tos. I've been a believer of Elta MD before I used to even sell it on my shelf. So I think it's a great mineral. You reapply. The key is to reapply no matter which one you're using or which one, but I would have to go with mineral personally.
Yeah.
And then you look at the numbers, right? Like if it's a 50 or a 70, that's really giving you the time of how long it's actually going to be lasting.
That's so good.
Oh, okay. That is really good to know. I didn't know that. Like if you just take it that way. Yeah.
I love me a good SPF, but I agree with you. I will be the first to admit that I never reapply unless I'm at the pool and I'm not wearing makeup, then I will. Yeah. Like if I have I put on my SPF, I put on my makeup that also has that, to then reapply and mess up the bouge that I just put on. Like it's tough to do.
It is. But someone who suffers from, and I don't think you guys have this, is melasma. Melasma is a condition, pregnancy mask. It is also from birth control. And it's, so people sometimes don't know the difference. Melasma is like an island, right? Like it's patchy. Sunspots are sunspots. They're like sprinkles in the face. So if you have melasma, it is internal. So people will say, well, I went out in the sun and I got it. No, you had it. The sun made it darker. Okay. And also they'll say like, I went in the sun and I was in the shade for like the longest time, but it still got darker. So heat has been proven to also cause damage. So if they're out and they're in the shade and it's 100 degrees outside, you're basically putting your skin in an oven. It's just not direct, right? So heat has also been proven to cause damage. So I always tell people with melasma, because I used to be a runner. So when I would come in, I had melasma for the longest time. I don't know. I got a hysterectomy and it's gone. But anyway, so I used to come in and just cool down my face with some cool compress and ice roller, because you want your body temperature to cool down. And so your melasma will pretty much get lighter if you do that. Sometimes it just looks darker in summer, lighter in winter, and it fluctuates. So anyone who suffers from that condition, it's a tough condition to have and an expensive condition to have, but using mineral would be your best bet.
Shit. I need to come in and see you. You should see my forehead. It is, I'm not wearing makeup right now, so you might be able to see it, but I feel like after I had my third and I stopped nursing him, all of a sudden it was like just this brown little patch right on my forehead. And I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah. I know our bodies go through so much after having kids. I mean, it was known as the pregnancy mask, but I actually notice it in a lot of 20-year-olds, 22-year-olds who are on and off birth control, not knowing what it's actually doing to their skin. So it's a tough condition to have because there's no cure for it, really.
Yeah, it's good to know, Angel. Now I'm going to have this brown ass patch forever. Do I need to get it?
But it'll get lighter. It'll get lighter. Reapply.
So what if we have listeners that are like, okay, this sounds amazing, but I really don't have the budget to do high end. Is there a way?
Yeah, this was my question, was like, if you things that you can do if you're like, okay, I can't go to the spa, I can't go to an esthetician every 2 weeks or whatever, I can't get medical grade anything, like what should they be doing at home to better or get the healthiest skin that they can get from just trying to do stuff at home? Or if there is over-the-counter stuff that you recommend, we're all ears.
Yeah, I think L'Oreal, if I were to pick one, I think L'Oreal would be the closest thing to, a Walgreens brand. It's still pretty pricey. I mean, they're like $50 for retinol on at Walgreens, but as long as they're starting somewhere, and being diligent about, now they're fully aware of the power of sunscreen, because really that's what's going to age you, pretty rapidly. I always say this because people will compliment my skin and I'm very grateful, but I'm a very fair Latina, like the whitest in my family. I'm like, which one doesn't belong? Me. Like everyone is brown and beautiful. And I'm like the fairest one. I literally did 23andMe because I'm like, I'm not fucking from this family. I don't know what happened to me. Like someone dropped me off. I was hoping I wasn't from the family anyway. But anyway, so I used to get teased when I was younger because they would call me Weta, which is white girl. You're the Weta, you're the white girl. So I remember just hiding and I was just like, I'm never going to be brown. Like I can't be brown like them. So I think what kind of helped me in my defense is I never tried to be a color or even I didn't do tanning beds. I didn't try to be a color that I'm not. And so I think if they can't afford something now, using sunscreen and being diligent with it and trying to say like, okay, this is my color. I don't need to be 4 shades darker for summer and then get lighter for winter. It looks great on pictures, but I saw some girl, we were in Cabo a couple weeks ago and she was my daughter's age. She was about 22 and her mom were like beef jerky looking, like brown, like, I'm like, y'all are not supposed to even be this color. They had the blondest hair. And I mean, their skin was dark. And she was like, I was in the tanning bed. She was talking about her tanning bed. And she like flipped over and she was even more brown. I mean, she stayed in the sun for 9 hours. And I was in the canopy just drinking away. Just like, I'm like, should I give her my card now? Or is
it more cocktail and you might.
I know. Is it inappropriate if I'm like, if you ever need me?
Here you go.
Yeah. But no, I think if you start somewhere, start with invest in a good vitamin C. L'Oreal would probably be my go-to for Walgreens. Again, it's one of those things that it's just starting a habit because some people are like, I don't wash my face every day. I can't. So you're creating a habit. And then as you get older, you're like, okay, maybe I can afford now to invest in something a little more, which we always spend our money where we want to. Like I remember a girl saying like, oh, I don't want to buy the $120 vitamin C, but she had her Gucci purse and like she was going to Hawaii for the weekend. So it's also making a priority, that's just really what it comes down to. And it is pricey. Don't get me wrong. Like it's not cheap, but it's anything good is worth investing. And so that's why I don't have a whole like collection of products. I'm just like, these are essential for different skin types, whether Black, Hispanic, white, and every skin type is different. But if someone can start creating a habit of saying like, I'm investing in my face and I'm not going to wait until I feel old to start investing in my face, because that's when it's really hard for me to correct. Right.
Yeah.
So I love that you mentioned that because I feel like I started to spend less money on makeup when I started to invest more in my skincare because I didn't feel like I needed to cake it on. I go without makeup a lot, or I'll just do like a strong SPF and maybe like a light CC cream or, maybe some mascara. But now I have like the confidence in my skin that I'm not spending a shit ton of money on makeup because I am taking care of my skincare. And I love that you said that about making a priority, because Steph and I have talked about that too. Like when we talk about working out, and people are like, oh, I can't spend $200 on learning how to eat. I'm like, bitch, you just spent $200 at Target when you went in there for a $5 coffee. Like it's where you put your priorities.
For sure.
But yeah, I love that you mentioned that too. And I think I've watched something on your stories before too, that like a lot of people when it comes to their skincare, like also, how much are you sleeping? What are you eating? Like, are you filling it up with
How much water are you drinking every day? Diet Coke all day long doesn't do your skin good.
Anytime I do a consult, and even the way that I've taught the girls is it's more than just topical. It's so much more. And I talk about this on my podcast as well, that in 2019, I got a divorce. I was married for like 9 months. It was the biggest mistake and a learning curve for me. But also I feel like it opened my eyes just to me. Like, I'm like, okay, I've been giving to so many people, giving to this husband who didn't deserve it. And now I neglected myself. I was drinking all the time. I owned my own business. I was busy burying myself under work. And then I didn't work out. I ate like shit. But everything topically, right, was on point. Like,
yeah, I still do my routine.
And I look back at me being 39, 38, and I mean, the change in my skin alone from just eating better, exercising, like, became a part of my life. And it wasn't my good friend Taylor Chamberlain, who owns Balance, Vitality. Vitality. She actually invited me to go work out with her. And I have a lot of younger friends, and she invited me, and I was like, well, are you sure? Cause like, I am horrible at the gym. Like, I'm one of those people that are doing it wrong, like, all the time. Like, you're doing it wrong. You like, I can't even be next to you because you're doing it so wrong. And I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to start, but she helped me. And then little by little, I just started building the confidence of like, okay, I'm working out. Maybe I shouldn't have a White Claw 6 times a day. You know what I mean? Like, you start to notice, like,
yeah.
And so the same thing goes with skincare. You start to invest and you're like, okay, well, maybe I don't want to be outside for 9 hours just baking in the sun, and when I just spent $400 on a laser. Maybe I'll come inside and protect my investment. So kind of go hand in hand, especially what you put in your body. Like, we were just talking and laughing about how we drank too much, but it really shows up in my face. I look dehydrated. I'm puffy the next day. Yeah. I just feel like shit, and I feel like I look like shit. So I think just knowing that whatever you're eating, whatever you're consuming, if you're not working out, it's eventually going to start catching up to you. And it caught up to me big time, because I look back at my photos. Not only was I depressed, you know, my kids all left the house. I had no more husband, and it was me and a fucking dog. I'm like, what? Where is my life going right now? Like, who am I? But that's when I started dating myself. I took myself to Greece. I know that you probably followed that. I took myself to Greece for 14 days, and everyone's like, you're fucking crazy. But I watched Eat, Pray, Love, and I was like, I'm going away.
Was it amazing?
Oh, it was
I bet.
It was life-changing. I met so many amazing people who are still my friends on Instagram, and they will, you know, it's the amount of people you meet when you're alone because you're sitting by yourself at a bar in Greece. You're just like, fuck it.
And look like you, like, excuse me. What is happening?
Different when you have like a resting bitch face and you're just like, leave me alone. But I'm in my head, I'm like, somebody will come talk to me.
She's like this Latino goddess. That's just.
I'm proud to say I didn't hook up with anyone, and I didn't sleep with anyone on that trip at all. Yeah, well, Greece is very romantic, right? Greece is like it's just different. Like, there's couples everywhere. After day 4, I'm like, if I see another person get engaged, I'm going to throw it. Like, I was there to eat pasta and drink wine. I know, don't do it. Don't fucking do it. He's cheating. He's definitely cheating. I was so bitter, but it also was very therapeutic, and like, just helped me date myself, love myself again, put myself first. And when you own a business and you have priorities, it's like my cup couldn't be more empty. I was at complete burnout, and I was just like, I don't even know who the fuck I am. I know what my kids like. I know my kids' favorite color. I know their favorite food. I know both my ex-husband's favorite color, favorite food.
You're like, what is my favorite color?
What do I want? Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, I don't even know who I am. And it was humbling because I was 40 and I just felt like, I don't know who I am, but it was also a rebirth And now that I've invested in myself and like traveling, it's like, oh, I didn't even know I love to travel. Guess what? You know, my daughter and I leave to Italy on Saturday, and I know I'm so excited. And I get to experience that, seeing her eyes light up. And, you know, when they don't have their father in their life, it's like you sometimes overcompensate and try to do too much. But so I'm like taking her to Italy. She's so excited.
That's going to be awesome.
I know. I'm excited. So again, it goes the whole travel bug.
I know I'm going to go downstairs and talk to my husband, like, 'cause I need to date myself. I'm booking a trip for 10 days. He'd be like, bitch.
I'm like, lost. I don't know who I am. I will see you in 14 days. And he'd be like, no.
No. Not a chance.
He's like, let me remind you who you are. Sit down.
It takes 5 minutes. It'll take you 5 minutes. Here you go. Run it down.
Not a fucking
That's
chance.
awesome.
That is amazing. So can you tell us a little bit about the Mile High Makeover? You guys, first of all, you need to go follow Angel's social. We'll put it in the notes and we'll put it on our Instagram. But when I tell you, my jaw drops every time she shows like a before and after of the Mile High. It is nuts. Like, how did you like create this idea? You know, how did it become so popular?
When I started in a little room right here on St. Paul and Cherry Creek. It was like the size of a bathroom. Actually, this room is bigger than the room I was in. And I always tell people, you have tools. You have to know how to use those tools. So like, if this does this and this does this, like, how about I combine this? Or what if I combine this? I have a lot of combination treatments. I have my after sex glow. I have a Mile High Makeover. And these are treatments that I was just like, if they all do 3 different things, what if I combine them? And I remember the first Mile High I did, it was on my friend Skylar. And after 7 days, I was like, oh shit, that worked. And I was like, cool. And then I did it on someone else and I'm like, oh shit, that worked again. And it was one of those things that I'm like, okay, cool. Like, boom, let's start doing. And I started doing so many. And then I'm like, they asked me to be on a TV segment on Fox. And they were like, well, you got to name it something. What are you going to name it? I was with one of the producers. We're having drinks at North. And we sat there and came up with Mile High Makeover. And it just stuck, honestly. It's so funny, though. They'll be like, can I call? They're like, I want to know about that Rocky Mountain thing or the 62. Like, it's just, I'm all the Mile High. It's
the Mile High.
So, I think when I knew it became a thing, and then I started doing it on Latina skin, which is most people won't touch Latino skin with a 10-foot pole with a laser, and I'm like, but I know it's like I knew my skin and I knew their skin, you know, like what my skin can handle. So again, it was trial and error, just like, okay, if I do this and this, and then they came back 7 days and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, we were both crying together. I'm like, oh, your skin.
Yeah, I'm literally looking at some of these on your social media page and I'm like, holy this is like day and night. Like, this is literal magic.
So I went with my lawyer and I'm like, well, I want to trademark the name so no one uses Mile High Makeover. And then now it's patent pending, which that's why when people are like, why don't you teach me? Why don't you teach me? I get a lot of that on my social media. It's not that I don't want to, it's just I don't want to be liable for that. Like, if they're like, we tried it and I burned the shit out of someone's face, and I'm like, oops.
You're like, I'm covering my ass.
Yeah.
Also, there's some things that you got to keep to yourself to create a business around. Sorry, it's just the way that it is. There's some secrets that it's like, I can tell you enough, but I ain't giving you all of my secret sauce because that's me. That's what I created. So yeah, keep that shit a secret.
And I'll get unfollowed and hated and like, oh, she doesn't say, like, the people will have conversations on my page about me. I'm like, hi, I'm still here.
I love it. They're just posting your engagement. It's just all the comments. I'm like, oh, bitches.
Yeah. By the way, but yeah, no, it's patent pending, and it just was so catchy, and then also it does produce, you know, I can knock off maybe 10 years, 5 years, depending on the person, and so
this shit's crazy.
I think that for me, it was one of those things that I was like, I was onto something, and then when people started to fly in for it, I knew my social media had some impact. You know, you don't know when you're just grinding, you're just doing every day. You don't really like think about it. And people started to fly in. I'm like, whoa, what is happening? And then it was like the pressure was on. Yeah. So so far the furthest I got on TikTok in 2020 during my whole find me again. And I got on TikTok and it was my second post of my Mile High, and I went to bed. I woke up and it's at 30 million views on TikTok.
Oh,
and I thought I got hacked. I was all, oh my God, I got hacked. Like I was worried and I'm like,
something's wrong. This number is not right.
Yeah. I was like, disconnect my Instagram, because you can put your Instagram to follow. And I was like, I took it off. I'm like, who are these people? So I would say 2 or 3 years ago, someone from Egypt went to Dubai, and the esthetician in Dubai follows me and told her, you need to go get your Mile High makeover. She's from Egypt. She flew to get her Mile High makeover. So far, that was furthest.
Damn, that's
amazing.
Crazy.
Did she look snatched afterwards or what?
She honestly, these women are gorgeous. She didn't really need much. They want their skin to peel and they want to like fill. I'm like, you don't need.
American skin is trash compared to everyone.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. I don't know what oil they're rubbing on their face, but I'm like, you don't really need. Give me what you're using.
What
The blood of the virgins that they're all drinking or something,
Yeah.
Well, they're not stressed. They just
oh yeah,
done with work early and living their best life. And we have this like hustle culture where it's like, if you actually try to relax, you're fucking up. Like it's
yeah. You're a bad mom if you take any downtime, or if you go to the spa and spend $500 on yourself. What? You could have done so much more with that money than put it on your face.
For sure. And
I don't even go to see Nikki that often, but I'm gonna have to come and just be like, well, I mean, I guess I'll throw Nikki in the mix, but I'll fly there.
Oh, you actually? So Steph's is in Texas, so she needs to come here, and we will.
Dallas, or where are you at?
I'm West Texas, so like west of Dallas, kind of in the middle of nowhere, but we kind of love it.
And what services do you all offer? Like, I know it's probably like a wide variety, but I know you got some Botox, lips. Does Sam still do lips?
Yep, lips. We do. So she's our injector, so she'll do. And I love her because she'll turn people away if she needs to. Like, or she'll say, I can't do your lips.
For sure. Sam does my lips. And when I tell you, I will not let anyone else touch my lips, I mean it. And I've gone in there and
hold on though. But this bitch, Nikki told me, I went in to go get mine and she was like, it doesn't even hurt. And I was like, I hate you. That hurt. Like I did all the numbing cream and everything else too. And I was like, you can still feel it. I thought I wasn't going to feel anything.
Wait, so
it was your fault, Nikki.
Wait, some products don't have lidocaine in them too. So it depends on what filler they used in you.
Mine didn't hurt at all. And then I went in and we did like a half a syringe, but I bought a full syringe because I'm like, just in case, I want to see how it is. And I like went back in it and she's like, I'm not going to give you the full syringe because I don't think it'll look good on you. So she just gave me enough where she was like, this looks great, but still natural, like nice and full. And I'm like, I want more. And she's like, no, like she's so good about drawing the line of like making you look so incredible, so natural, but so full. Like I have never once got like, oh, your lips fake. They're like, your lips look incredible. I'm like, I know.
I posted up my journey. I'm very open about the shit I've had done. Like I've had chin lipo, so I posted that on there. And then I posted when I had Sam take out all my filler in my lips. And so that was humbling. I'm like, this is why men don't date me. They see my Instagram, they're like, that bitch is crazy. But because my lips blew up like a balloon. And I was like, fuck it, this is what really happens. I'm going to post about it. Because I had filler from 15 years ago in my lips that just never dissolved and it starts to protrude out. So I took out all my filler and I only put like a fourth back in, like just the smallest amount. And I almost didn't put anything back in because I was like, it's not that I didn't have any lips, but I'm like, I mean, just put a little bit. Just put a little bit.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah, put a little something in there.
Yeah, and your facials, you do peels, right?
Sorry about that. Yeah, we do hydrofacials, we do peels, we do lymphatic for people who don't want any like machines or anything. We also cater to pregnant women or nursing women. So we have what's called the 5-star. And most people can't do like medical grade treatments while they're pregnant, but this is actually a treatment that will do cell turnover. It involves microneedle. It involves red light, like all the fun things. It's like 5 different treatments in one, and you can do it while you're pregnant or nursing, which I came up with again. because I felt like there was a need for my pregnant and nursing women who had to wait so long.
Yes, you feel like you're like, I have to up my skincare game while I'm pregnant. I mean, you do get that like glow. Sometimes people get like the reverse glow where it's like, I look dead, like this baby is sucking the life out of me. Luckily for this one, I'm like, oh, whatever is happening is.
Yeah.
But
it's doing well.
Yeah, it sucks because you're like, I was actually just talking to my husband last night and I was like, I think my skincare game is on because like I'm not noticing as much, like not being able to get Botox and stuff in my forehead. I was like, oh my gosh, my creases are like, I feel like it's less crazy than it was ever before, where I was like, oh my God, this is going to look so bad for so long because you just have
it
to
just
stop
seems long
everything.
too. I mean, I always tell people that you're not pregnant forever, but then you go into nursing and that seems to drag on. And, you know, there's some women who, like me, had kid back to back to back. And you're like, I can't catch a break. So I think also just keeping in mind, like there are certain things that you can do to help cell turnover, which is, you know, the dermaplane, facials, and then the 5-star that we do here, which I loved because I felt like pregnant women and nursing women needed something that was more than just
I love that.
So that one, and then we do butt facials, which
I cannot wait. Can I do an Instagram live? Do you think I'll get flagged if I'm like
no, it's just your butt, right? And like bikini, like, oh, this girl can get on here and on a bikini, but I can't show you my butt facial.
So when I worked, I can't say where I worked, but when I worked there, when I first moved to Denver, I did a producer who was one of the producers. She used to fly in and she was on the set of Friends, right? So she was talking about how Jennifer Aniston did body peels, glycolic body peels. And I was like, oh, that makes so much sense because glycolic is one of my favorite peels. Like if you ask me what I do to my skin every month, I do a glycolic peel, a dermaplane. I do the after sex glow. That's why I came up with it. So I do that once a month. There's no downtime, stimulates collagen. It's great on the skin. But glycolic is one of the peels that have the smallest particle, molecules that can actually penetrate. Other peels have bigger ones. So anyway, I was like, that makes so much sense because, you know, at the time, Jennifer Aniston and her body were everywhere. And so I came up with body peels, which we do a glycolic literally from head to toe. It is pricey because it does take a lot of product, but I literally peel the entire body. And it's not like peeling. It's eating up that dead skin that a dry brush can't get off or that a loofah can't scrape off or a razor. So after she told me that, I was like, huh, okay. Like, and then I started doing it to my body. When my boss would leave, I was all like sitting there on my bed. I'm all, I hope she doesn't walk in. But
I was like, 9 bottles on your whole body. You're like, yeah, doing it every month.
Oops. But yeah, it's an easy way to give the skin, especially if it's feeling really dry and tight. Also, if you spray tan a lot, which I spray tan a lot, it helps just get off the extra residue and all that fun stuff. So that is another thing that we do that people don't offer. We also offer monthly programs, which allow people to come in and be diligent. You could stop at any time. I literally started it when I first started Angel Aesthetics because I'm like, I want people who save their money to come here, and I want all walks of life. I don't want just the bougie Cherry Creek people that are around here. I want me as a single mom. What could I do to make it affordable that I can be diligent with my skin? So $79 a month, you come in, you have 3 options to choose from. And I just made it to where if they stop anytime, there's no penalty and dumb shit like that. It's just you stop and then you get back on when you can afford it again.
That is amazing.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That's amazing.
I'm going to be
like, to me, $79 a month. That's less than what you'd pay for all this stupid shit that you would buy over the counter anyway. And if it's something that you're investing in going in, yeah.
I just it helps people to be accountable to put their skin first, and you know, it makes them feel good and it's affordable. So yeah,
that's amazing. If people are going in to get a facial, is there one type of facial that you recommend for like maybe your first one if you're nervous and you don't know what kind of facial is best? I'm sure they'll have a consultation with their esthetician, but what would you recommend? Like a hydrofacial? Are you more of like a chemical peel?
No, you don't want to do peels with your first go around just because it's iffy. I mean, they're not like the old school peels like back in the day. I always try to tell people, like, back in my day, you put a peel on someone and we all hoped for the best kind of thing, where these ones are self-neutralizing. You go home, I can sleep at night knowing your face is not going to be burned off the next day. But there's always allergic reactions to things. So don't start with a chemical peel as your first go-to. You want to start with hydrofacial. That was a good one. Even just a regular facial, just depending on your skin condition. Dermaplane is another one. That is my favorite. I don't own a microdermabrasion machine. I think they're old school. I personally never liked or believed in it, just because what it does is it shoots out little crystals, or it has a diamond tip, and that's how it exfoliates the skin. Well, as you get older, your skin gets thinner, and I have to deal with women who have broken capillaries here and
Yeah.
And so what the microdermabrasion does is beat up more of your skin and cause more broken capillaries. So
right.
I
have one of those that I don't ever use anymore, because people literally said the same. They're like, be careful, because it has the little diamond thing on it, but then it like sucks really hard. And they're like, you can actually break them and have these little like raspberries all over your face, and it makes it worse. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, not using that, thanks.
Well, if you do, use it on your body, because I mean, if I did have something like that, I would use it like on my knees, on my my thighs, stuff like that you can exfoliate, is a little more, can tolerate more of a beat up. So I would say dermaplane, a facial, hydrofacial is usually my go-to.
So humbling.
But people can dermaplane at home, right? Too, like they can come in and get dermaplaning done. But there's so many different tools out there to dermaplane at home, right?
Yeah, they have Amazon little razors. I always say the difference is, because you can see the difference. So it'll take off like some vellus hair and like little mustache hairs. But if you look at our razors are actually a surgical razor that are used to cut open the body. So the razor is so much more thin, so it's able to get a lot more dead skin off. Whereas the thicker razor from Amazon is just kind of doing enough to get by. So I think if you can't afford to get a dermaplane, use that while you can, and just be careful, because I've had people who slice their entire cheek. And the husband's like, I will pay for you to go get a dermaplane.
You come out with all the little tissue, like where you nicked yourself everywhere. You're like, oh, God.
Whoopsies.
All right, off topic, Angel. What's your favorite cocktail? Like, what's your go-to when you're drinking?
Vodka, grapefruit.
Oh, so good. You literally can't taste any vodka when you put grapefruit with. You can't taste anything. Tequila,
it's so easy, and it feels slightly healthier. It's actually so yummy, and it's right here at Cherry Creek Grill. They have the fresh grapefruits where they actually squeeze. So it has the little grapefruits in there. It's magic. But after
healthy girly drink.
Yeah, look at me watching my weight.
I just had 9 of these while I wrote in my journal.
I'm all, can I have 2 more grapefruits to go home? Thanks.
Thank you.
That's what I drank all weekend, was tequila, soda, splash of grapefruit, and then a couple limes. Like
so
too many foods. So good for summer too.
Yeah.
Isn't it so fun for summer?
You're so close.
We will have some for you. Don't you worry.
Okay,
but come to that's a good one. I could come to Denver after the baby. We could do the Mile High makeover and drink all the drinks.
Oh, you got it. I'm down.
You also have a big event coming up, right, at the end of the month?
Yes, I'm so excited. So in 2020, it seems like I'm saying a lot of 2020. It was a pivotal year for me, apparently. Not only did we get fucking shut down, but in March of 2020, I was like, I need to be around women. I'm just having a hard time. And I was like, let's get women-owned businesses. Let's collab. I always have these crazy ideas that the girls are like, oh my God, I'm so sick of all her ideas. And I'm like, let's have a big party. Let's have a DJ and no men allowed. Let's just have fun. And I'm like, okay, maybe like 50 women will show up. It's going to be fun. And fucking the line was out the door. It was one of those things that you just don't know. Like, you don't know what to expect. And the power of social media is just insane. So anyways, at that time, it was 250. 250 women showed up. It was fun. It was we had prizes.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So every year got bigger. Last year was like over 400 women. And so I had it downstairs in the parking lot because they don't fit in buildings anymore. I picked summertime because it's warmer and all that stuff. So DJ Sin comes out. It's unlimited tacos, unlimited mimosas, and you get to shop. So we have like jewelry, we have
I want to come.
clothes, we have like, it's just a big fucking girl party, and you're literally supporting women who own businesses in Denver as they showcase their business. The best part of this is I have a Single Mom Strong, which is a foundation that's close to my heart, and I started it my first year of business because I was like, I don't care if I'm barely making any money. It is my duty to help single moms through this. So I would take them out to dinner, what I could afford, and I would just kind of spoil them with some skincare stuff. And that has gotten bigger. The group stays small. I always keep it to about 20 women that I pick. And I just show them love and spoil them with Target, grocery gift cards, stuff to help that I would have wanted as a single mom. And so proceeds of the Women 23 will go towards it's like full circle, which I love because I do spend a lot of my own money for Single Mom Strong. But I love it because it's just one big circle of women, truly women supporting each other. And I think for me, you know, a lot of women are like, support women, we love women, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, I have to actually do something about it and not just talk about it, because there are some women who can be haters or whatever. But I just know for this, there's such good energy. And I'm like, I don't care, all walks of life, just come out, let's have fun. And I was trying to look for firefighters to serve us drinks, but I couldn't with the shirts off.
Yes.
No luck. Just,
you know that there was some regulation there. Them firefighters, they totally would have done it, but there was like, my boss said I can't. Sorry.
But yeah, so it's all women. It is June 25th. The tickets are only $35. Like, you can't. Unlimited tacos and mimosas alone is
35. Oh my God. I feel like you could do like $500 a ticket and I'd still come out to that. Unlimited tacos and mimosas and a bunch of women just having a good time.
It's so fun. And it's only 3 hours long. It's sometimes is not long enough, but women will party and keep partying. So
sorry, I'm out of tacos and I'm out of mimosas, but you guys can keep partying. Let's go drink some more. Everybody bring your journal. Let's go to the bar.
I was going to say, I go to Toro after. I'm not kidding. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Okay. But
that's awesome.
I'm going to come. I cannot wait to come. I want to get my ass facial beforehand because I'm probably just going to wear a thong there and be like, look.
Yeah.
Look at my butt.
Seriously
my butt.
big dance party. So dress however the hell you want. It's going to be slutted up if you want.
That's
Slutted
awesome.
up. I am here for it. Angel, thank you so much. That was so amazing.
Your story is so amazing. Like, just.
Yeah, she's a badass.
Yes.
Yeah, you're a badass.
I have a lot of gray hair.
Okay, you need to pimp yourself out too. Where can everybody find you?
Yes, Angel Aesthetics Denver. There's some bot accounts that have tried to copy or whatever, so make sure it's the right one. And then our It Hurts to Be Pretty podcast. You can find that on Apple or Spotify. And then
so good. They did I'm gonna put up on our Instagram too. They did an amazing one all about SPF too, like about reapplying and between mineral and chemical, and just such great information. No bullshit. So we'll make sure to put that up too.
Yeah, it's good information. It goes back and forth from my pathetic dating life to chemical peels and how to pick them. So it's just fun. We like to have. I'm actually taking a little break on my podcast while I go to Italy. And you know how it is to be a creative. Sometimes you just need to sit back because you're on your burnout. I'm like this close. So it's perfect timing because I'm like, I just need a fucking break.
I get it. That's amazing. I will be going to Vegas. That's not the same as Italy, but does that count as a break?
Oh yeah, that does. Are you kidding me? Bring some firefighters for me for the fence.
That's a great idea.
They don't have to be firefighters.
Yeah, everyone in Vegas that has abs is a firefighter if you want.
Totally.
Dress up. I mean,
And Steph's going to be having her baby. Is that going to be a vacation?
So wait, when's your due date? I do know you know that.
September, like early to mid-ish September.
Okay, so
and she doesn't know what she's having.
She's like, okay, you still have a while. I'm like, your summer's gonna suck this year.
One of my sons was born in October, and I hated being pregnant the whole summer. You sweat.
Yes, that my last kid. Yes, my last son was born in October too, and I'm like, again, really? Like, now too, all the everything's getting like the hot, and you're like, ooh, margarita, nope, can't have that. Ooh,
not here. The weather's been dog shit in Denver.
Well, no, I literally cry in the morning for no reason. It's raining, I'm crying. I'm crying over a heartbreak that I don't even have. I don't know who he is.
I'm sad. Bring the sun. Well, you guys can come to Texas.
Yes.
Tempting. Well, you need to come out, get your Mile High makeover whenever you're ready. And thank you guys for having me. This was fun.
Yes, Angel.
So much fun. Yes.
Thank you. You guys don't forget
to be messaging you all the time. Like, just be like, hey, what about this? What do you think about this product? How do you think? Should I do this? Should I do this? Because, yeah.
Yes, you guys follow Angel. We'll also put it in the show notes. And then you can follow us at Sips and Gigs Podcast. You can find me at nikki.entenman.
And me at Better with Chardonnay.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
All right.
Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts so other people can find the show. Come follow Nikki and Steph at Sips and Gigs Podcast on Instagram, where they share tons of behind the scenes to keep you laughing all week long. See you next week.